I'm Bailey Bates. Here are your headlines from Central Texas. The Brazos County boxing community is mourning the loss of rising professional boxer Hannah Rapp. Investigators say Rapp was hit and killed while riding her bike Saturday, and now Rapp's family and the boxing community are calling for justice. Our Adriana Alexander has a closer look at what happened.
A bike ride on a rural road in Navasota ended the life of professional boxer Hannah Rapp.
It was just straight shock. I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
Now her loved ones are determined to make sure her death leads to change.
Out of anybody in the world, I don't understand why it had to be her.
Rapp was riding her bike along FM 159 Saturday morning with her boyfriend when investigators say a driver passed the couple, then stopped, put his vehicle in reverse, and struck Rapp. She was taken to a local hospital where she was pronounced dead. Like many others, her teammate Chase Martinez is still processing her death.
Miss her a lot, of course, I miss her a lot. Kind of like Coach right now, it just hit me at different times. You know, one moment I'll be okay, and then all of a sudden it just, boom, it just hit me and just overwhelmed.
She was a beautiful soul. Heart so big, bigger than Texas, heck, and she wasn't even from Texas.
Now her boxing coach, Carl Perry, along with Rapp's family, are calling for justice. 31-year-old Charles Medina is in jail on a manslaughter charge, but that's just one of at least a dozen other charges on Medina's rap sheet since 2012.
For whatever reason, they've allowed this guy to walk away several times.
Perry says someone like that should not be able to walk the streets.
We're really trying to focus more on holding our district attorney and our local judicial system accountable, because
Hannah Rapp dedicated her life to boxing. Now her family is pushing for Hannah's Law to prevent repeat offenders in Texas from bonding out of jail.
If you're a victim to this law is going to protect everybody in the future if we can get this passed, because it will not allow these repeat offenders out back on the road.
Meantime, as the city of Temple moves forward with major water conservation projects, taxpayers are raising concerns that data center developers are interfering with the city's plans. The city of Temple owns a groundwater well right next door to Rowan's Moriah project, which was originally intended to be a data center. To build the center, Rowan made a deal with Temple to improve roads and water infrastructure around the property. That included drilling a groundwater well on city property next door at the expense of the data center company. The city got to own and operate the well and agreed to pay Rowan back for the improvements over the course of 3 years to the tune of $4.8 million. The city also agreed to let Rowan's data center use water out of the well under contractual limits, up to 830,000 gallons of water per day, or whatever the well could produce without impacting the city's other water customers. Rowan's Moriah data center never developed as planned, and the city says Rowan no longer plans to use the well for water, but the city still gets to keep that well that Rowan built.
Their agreement with us was to build the well and to dedicate it to the city as public infrastructure, and so we own the well and all of the water rights from that well. Rowan's water rights are expressly granted by the city through utility services agreements. They have limited domestic water use. The closed loop cooling fill is limited stage and scheduled with a maximum amount per day.
Well, now the city plans to use the well for a much larger water conservation project, but first it needs to get an operating permit from the Clearwater Underground Water Conservation District. And those are your headlines from Central Texas.